Hello guys, F.A.D. here. Welcome to a new video on the channel. Now recently, of course, I did start that little GTA 3 Let's Play series, but of course that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop doing all these album videos. I mean, come on, I own so many CDs, I might as well do videos on them, right? So yeah, I mean, I love doing these videos, so of course I'm not gonna stop them, just in case that's what you guys were thinking. No, I meant to do more of these videos lately, like ever since I had my holiday, my Christmas holiday. Of course, I've had no school for the past week, and also for this week, for the rest of this week. But I kind of had a problem at the start of the holiday. I kind of had a problem with an eye infection and stuff. I'm not sure if an eye infection is what you really call it. I'm not that good with like stuff like that, but especially in English. But I just had some trouble with my eyes and stuff. They felt terribly, and just first they were itchy, and then it started to like be like very annoying, and they kind of hurt and stuff. I don't know, but that basically was like the first week of my holidays kind of ruined a little bit, and but it's kind of gotten better since. It's still kind of recovering, but I mean, you can even see my eyes look a little bit messed up. I mean, I'm not sure if the camera is gonna really catch it, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I do feel fine. I do feel good now. That's of course why I am recording this video right now. Otherwise, I would not be doing a face-to-face video like this. And yeah, so I really wanted to do another album-related video, because I mean the last few album-related videos were just like my showing off my collection. But I want to do something else than just, you know, okay, going through every album one by one. Instead, I'm gonna rank the discography from one of my favorite bands, and as you can see in the poster to the back there, not the Metallica one, the one next to it, Slipknot. Yes, Slipknot is one of my favorite bands. I really love those posters, by the way. I got them for Christmas. They're awesome. But yeah, Slipknot, one of my favorite bands, much to my father's dismay. I mean, he always frowns whenever he comes into my room and I'm listening to Slipknot. I mean, he doesn't really approve. But I mean, come on, what can he do about it? Okay, it's one of my favorite bands. I love Slipknot. And I own all of their albums, of course. If you watch my CD collection video, you would know that. Of course, I don't count Mate, Kill, Feed, Repeat. I'm pretty sure that's the name. I don't count that album. I mean, every Slipknot album, from Self-Titled to The Grey Chapter, I own all of them. There are 5 albums. I'm gonna rank them, because of course, why not? I mean, that's what you tend to do, you know, like, which album do you like least, which album do you like most, and that's what I'm gonna talk about in this very video. Hopefully it won't drag on for too long. I kind of want to be as brief as possible, because of course, like, all those album collection videos just went on for so long. I finally want to, you know, give something quick. So, is that everything? Or can I start? I think I can. I hope. Oh, this is my opinion. If you disagree, then please don't hate me. Tell me if you guys have different opinions. Tell me in the comments below. I don't know. Maybe you don't even like Slipknot. Then okay, it's fine. They're one of my favorite bands. One of my life goals is to see Slipknot live one day. I don't know if it will ever happen, but man can dream, right? I don't know. I've seen Papa Roach live, which they're like my all-time favorite band. They're my #1, so that's something, I guess. But Slipknot live, man, their shows are crazy, man. I need to see one of those one day. But without any more further ado, let's get started. So, I mean, I like all Slipknot albums. Don't get me wrong. I love all Slipknot albums. So, all of these albums, I think they're good. So, it was actually very difficult to put them in order and rank them. So, even the albums which are like 5th and 4th, I still like them. I just like the other ones more. It's as simple as that. But I don't tell, like, the album which I'm about to pull up, which is my least favorite Slipknot album, I still like it. I don't hate it. It's just my least favorite. Okay, we can get started now. Thank God. Okay. By the way, my hair, I know it looks terrible. I'm gonna go to the barber in like a few days. Don't worry. Okay. First album, unfortunately, the most recent one, The Grey Chapter. Now, basically, the story with this album for me is it's like it's doing basically what every other Slipknot album has done, and that's good, but it isn't doing it as well as all the other Slipknot albums are doing it. It's trying to imitate them, it just isn't up to the level. I mean, it's doing everything. It's trying to mix stuff from like their older stuff like Iowa and mixing them with like some of their more recent stuff, like which came afterwards, like All Hope Is Gone and Volume 3, you know, and I mean, I do like this album, but it's just it's not up to par to all those other great stuff they've done in the past. I mean, you can definitely tell, like even some of the awesome heavy tracks, like of course Custer, for instance, you know, where Corey really goes all out and starts, you know, screaming. While you're listening to it, you just wish that, you know, Corey would still be like that. It would be like on an older Slipknot album where Corey still was like in his prime. Like you can tell he has aged. I mean, it's been well over a decade. God, it's been like a decade since like all Hope Is Gone by now. It's been like almost 20 years since the self-titled album, and it's just like, man, I wish Corey still had those damn old screams in him. But it's still a good album. It's got some great tracks on it, but overall, it's definitely the most forgettable album for me. I mean, there's not as much stuff here that makes me want to come back to it. Like when I think of when I want to listen to some Slipknot, I don't think of this album. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a good record. It's got some good tracks like The Devil and I, and of course the aforementioned Custer, Kill Pop, one of the, you know, more slower songs, I guess you could say, but there's of course still screaming in it, so it's not exactly a. I mean, can you classify it as a ballad? I don't know. All I'm trying to say is this is my least favorite Slipknot album, and also it has probably my least favorite opening track on a Slipknot record. I mean, usually Slipknot records have like these amazing opening tracks, and like they have these intros, but here it's kind of like XIX. It's like, it's not really doing it for me, okay? But that was number 5. I still like it. It's just my least favorite, okay? Sorry. Like, I know that a lot of people actually really like the album. A lot of people really like The Grey Chapter and like put it like up to the top, I think. So, sorry, it's just my least favorite. Like, I actually was very apprehensive about getting it. Like, at first I didn't even plan to get it. But I went on a trip to England, like June 2017. Like I wanted to say earlier this year, but then I realized it's 2018 already. God, could you believe it? I'm almost 16 years old. Like, goddamn, I'm getting old, and I'm still a teenager. What's going on? Okay, but so I went on the England trip, and I went to the HMV. I think that's what it's called, the HMV, right? The music store with CDs and stuff. And I saw it there, and I got like a bunch of CDs, and that was one of them. Yeah, that's the story. And I was like, I mean, I have all the other records. I might as well get this one, and I like it. Like, I listened to it on the bus ride back. And I enjoyed it, but like I said, compared to all the other stuff, it just feels like it's trying so hard to reach the levels of Iowa and like all those amazing old school Slipknot tracks and all these classics, and it just doesn't quite do it. But it still has its moments, like really, but definitely my least favorite album. Now that I've chatted on for super long, when I just said that I wanted this video to be short, let's continue to number 4, and this is gonna get me some hate. It definitely will. But keep in mind, I still love this album. It's number 4, and it's Iowa. Yes, Iowa. I'm sorry. A lot of people love this album. So many people would have this as their number 1, and I see why. This is a freaking heavy album. It's crazy. It's definitely the craziest and heaviest Slipknot album. But just because it's the most heavy and the most crazy does not mean it's the best. Unfortunately, it has. I mean, the writing on this, by the way, the songwriting is great. I mean, it goes to some very, very dark places. I mean, it starts you off with, of course, the opening track where Sid is just screaming, and it's like, oh my god, it just sets the tone for the rest of the album. It's just this roller coaster ride of craziness, and it's amazing. Like, it still boggles the mind that this actually managed to go platinum in the US. I mean, like an album like this, like it just shows you how big Slipknot are as a band, honestly. And it's a great album, but I think where it lacks, you know, it is amazing. It's in the heavy department and like how crazy it is, the songwriting. But where it lacks in the musical department. You know, they went all out for like, you know, just being crazy, scary, dark, and heavy. But then they kind of forgot, you know, the music. Like sometimes you can't really hear the musical part of it as much as you would have. There are so many talented musicians in this band, and it's kind of gone a bit to waste. It's like all the music is in the background, you know. It's kind of like it's been put to the background on this record for like the most part. But I mean, I still love it. But it's like, you know, there's so many tracks on here which just think like number 1 thing, just crazy, dark, just heavy shit. And then like, don't think about the music itself first. I still really like this album. It's a classic. It's got so many classic Slipknot songs. Like, of course, People Equals Shit, Disaster Piece, My Plague, Freaking Left Behind. It's one of my favorite Slipknot songs ever. I think I have a video on my channel still with my top 10 favorite Slipknot tracks, and that Left Behind definitely is on there. It's a great song, and People Equal Shit as well is also one of my favorite. It's a great album, but like I said, just musically it lacks. It's just focused too much on being super heavy, and it is super heavy, and it is super dark, and it's awesome, but it's number 4. Now moving on to number 3 on the ranking is Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses. Of course, after Iowa, this is Iowa was the second album, this is the third one. Between Iowa and this, of course, Slipknot went on their first hiatus. Corey Taylor, he did some stuff with Stone Sour. Of course, he revived the band, and they are now, of course, he of course managed to bring up as his big second band. I like Stone Sour, don't get me wrong, but I definitely prefer Slipknot. But yeah, and with this album, you could feel that definitely Stone Sour kind of influenced this album a little bit. Like, this is where Slipknot started to, after Iowa, which was just all-out craziness, being heavy, dark, all that stuff, they started doing different stuff here, like ballads, like Vermilion Part 2 and Circle. They started to, they started to tone down the heaviness, they started to focus more on the music, which I really like. And that doesn't mean that it's not heavy at all. There's still so many amazing tracks on here. You have songs like The Blister Exists, just starts off immediately like crazily, and of course one of the most famous Slipknot songs, Duality. That's probably their most famous song, and no, actually, honestly, that's like the first song that comes into people's minds when they think Slipknot. Well, either that or Psychosocial. That might be a bit of a debate there. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They're both kick-ass songs, and Duality is awesome. And of course, it also has Pulse of the Maggots. And before I forget, which won the band a Grammy. It is an amazing album. I love this album so much. Really. I read somewhere online that Corey dislikes this album because of his own vocal performance a little bit, and that he tried to do something different, like his screams are kind of different, and I see what he means. Like, I can definitely hear the screaming and stuff. It sounds different, but I still like it. Honestly, I don't really have a problem with it, and this is definitely a very, very good album, and it comes in number 3 on my list. Okay, now we're down to the top 2. Okay, you probably know which 2 albums are remaining right now, so this is gonna be the big reveal, which is gonna be number 2, and then you guys probably can definitely guess which one's gonna be number 1. Okay, number 2. I might get some hate for this, but it's self-titled. This is my second favorite Slipknot album. Come on, this is when they were fresh. Okay, this is when Slipknot were young. They were fresh. They were new. They just burst out onto the scene, and they just rocked the world. Nobody was expecting something like this. Just 9 masked men playing heavy, awesome music. 1999. God damn, these guys were such a great album. Of course, you can just see the energy on this record. It's amazing. It's not as heavy and dark as Iowa, even though this album is still heavy and dark as shit. But it definitely is better than Iowa in my opinion, mainly because, of course, unlike Iowa, this definitely did find an amazing balance between the heaviness, darkness, and the music, the actual music. It definitely found a better balance than Iowa did, and I love this album. And on any other day, this probably would have. On another day, this probably would have been my number 1. Honestly, it's a great record. For many people, this is the best Slipknot album. There's a long-going debate, which is the best. Some people say Iowa, some people say Volume 3, some people say this. It's for me, this is number 2. It's great. For many reasons. I definitely do think that the first half of the record is a lot better than the second half. But I still love the entire package all the way throughout. It starts out with so many classics. It has that eerie intro track, and then Sick, which is amazing. That's definitely up there with some of my favorite tracks. I'm not gonna. I have a video with my top 10 favorite Slipknot songs. I'm not gonna go and rank the songs right now. Just go to that video. I don't know if that opinion of that video still holds up today, but whatever. Sick is an amazing track. Then Eyeless, you can't see California without Marlon Brando's eyes, and just Wait and Bleed, the way he started, the melodic choruses and then Surfacing. Surfacing is a classic, just whenever you're feeling pissed off, that's everything. That's the song you put on. Spit It Out, another amazing track. Just such a great classic album. So many songs which have stood the test of time. This album still holds up today so well. I mean, it's amazing. It's a great album. It's a classic. But it's my number 2. And my number 1 is definitely gonna piss off a lot of people, Slipknot fans, you know. But I'm sorry, it's just how it is, okay? If you watched my collection, CD collection videos, I'm pretty sure I already mentioned it being my favorite Slipknot album there. So you would have actually known that this was coming up. But yeah, my number 1 favorite Slipknot album is All Hope Is Gone. Yes, I'm sorry, the album which is hated by everyone. Like, this is like everywhere. People say this is their least favorite Slipknot album. Everywhere. Even the band themselves say it's their least favorite. Like, I'm pretty sure the only person who really liked it was Joey Jordison. And this is the last Slipknot album he appeared on. You know, this is his last album. Of course, also Paul Gray's. This was also Paul Gray's last album, of course. Rest in peace, he died a year or 2 after the release of this. Very sad, of course. That's the title of their next album, The Grey Chapter, was dedicated to him. And it's very sad, but this album, it's the first Slipknot album I ever bought. I remember I bought it, I was in the music store, and I saw it, and of course, I already had listened to Slipknot before then, but this was I saw the album, and I had only recently started collecting albums then, like a few months back. And I was like, oh my god, like, I was like so apprehensive that I should bring it home. Because, I mean, the cover is just these 9 masked guys in a field. And then you have, you know, the pentagram, you know, across the cover and stuff. And it's just like, I was very difficult. But eventually I was like, nah, I gotta buy this. And honestly, when I first came home and listened to it, like, I listened to it on a Discman. I still remember I was sitting on my bed. It was like, oh my god, this album is amazing. Like, first you have the intro track, Execute, which just really, you know, is atmospheric. It builds up, and eventually in the end it goes crazy, and it flows right into the real opening track, Gematria, the killing name, and it just is so heavy, and it's amazing, and oh my god, gave me goosebumps the first time I listened to it. And then Sulfur right afterwards, which is one of my favorite Slipknot songs ever. And then it goes into another amazing track, Psychosocial. There's so many classic Slipknot songs on this, Dead Memories. And then near the end you have a great ballad like Snuff. Like, honestly, like, I know a lot of people hate it. And also it finishes off with the title track. It's amazing. It has that perfect balance between heavy and heavy tracks, ballads, and then all these dark moments, and it's amazing. It's the perfect Slipknot package, in my opinion. I know many people don't like it. It's my favorite Slipknot album. Like, maybe it has something to do with the fact that this is the first album I bought, and it has many of the songs that helped me get into Slipknot when I first heard them. Like, of course, like, I remember first song I ever heard was Psychosocial. Then after that I heard songs like Dead Memories, which was like a slower track, which, you know, helped me, you know, get adjusted to the band. And then Sulfur. So that definitely does maybe play a part. You know, just the fact that this is probably the album which, you know, got me properly into Slipknot. But I just love it. It's just definitely, this is my go-to Slipknot album. When I want to listen to Slipknot, this is what I put on. And a lot of people will disagree, but it's just my opinion. I'm sorry, it's how it is. I have a reputation for liking albums which other people don't like. I mean, come on, I'm basically a Nickelback fan, and I like Creed, and I like Hinder. It's just, you know, how it is. And also, I like Saint Anger and Load and Reload by Metallica, you know. So I have a reputation for liking stuff other people would call trash. Maybe that has something to do with it as well. Maybe I have a shit music taste. I don't know. But those were that was it. The Slipknot discography ranked by me. That's how I would put it. Who knows? Maybe my opinion could change. Like I said, it is probably pretty close between All Hope Is Gone and Self-Titled for the #1 spot. But I just had to put All Hope Is Gone at #1. You know. Maybe I'm being a hipster, I don't know, but this video is almost 20 minutes long and I should probably finish it off. So yeah, again, just like I said at the start, if you guys disagree, tell me in the comments below what you guys think, how you would put them, know how you guys would rank it, or if you guys don't even like Slipknot, then yeah, okay, why are you even watching this video still? I don't know, looking at my ugly face, but yeah, that was it, yeah, controversy, oh my god, I'm keep it, All Hope Is Gone at #1, how could he? But yeah, that was, I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. Like I said, it's my opinion. But okay, my name has been F.A.D. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to, you know, be more consistent in 2018. Probably won't be. I mean, it's just this is the most inconsistent YouTube channel of all time. I'm sorry, but that's it for this video. My name is F.A.D. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.